Hey everyone, my name is Dion from Moltke at Blayze. So excited to be part of the Rally for Vets track day battle to be a top dog, and hopefully this video can help you achieve that. And we're really excited to be part of this day and hopefully help you find some speed. So what we're going to do today is we're looking at the Summit Point Shenandoah Circuit, and I'm going to give you everything you need to know to be fast through every one of these corners. So what we're going to look at here is, let's first start the track map. We can see our little green arrow here. We're going to highlight that the corners that we're going to be focused on today is going to be from here. We're going to follow that little green marker all the way through here, continue to go through here, right around this right-hander onto the straightaway, and then we'll actually be turning in here. So you can see the corners of the section of this racetrack we're going to be focused on is going to be all of these corners through here, around here, through this, and then we actually hook a left here and come back around, right? So the first thing that I like to do when I'm studying a new track or getting ready to go to a track is I want to know what are my priorities in every corner. Is that corner an exit speed corner? Is it an entry speed corner? And then if I don't even know what the hell those things are, don't worry about it. We're going to get into that today. So when I am trying to analyze a corner, and we're going to go through here and let's kind of go down into turn one, before we talk about brake zones and lines and all of that type of stuff, I want to analyze, is this an exit speed corner or is it an entry speed corner, right? And for me to analyze that, I am trying to think about, is my acceleration zone out of the corner, is that longer than my deceleration zone into the corner, right? And if the acceleration zone out of the corner is longer than your deceleration zone into the corner, now I know it's an exit speed corner. If my deceleration zone into the corner is longer than my acceleration zone out of the corner, then it's an entry speed corner. And the reason that matters is, as race car drivers, you want to maximize and be fastest for the longest distance. So you can see here out of turn one, the green line, your acceleration zone, is longer than your deceleration zone. So I want to maximize my drive out of this corner so that I can be fastest from that apex on out, versus maybe trying to roll in a little bit more entry speed and maybe being faster for a little bit less of that distance, right? So the things that we want to know as we approach into turn one here at the Shenandoah Circuit is, this is going to be the very heavy brake zone. We're coming on the long straightaway here. We're coming in with a lot of speed. We're braking with our hands straight. It's a bumpy circuit, so we're going to get comfortable with using these bumps. So I want to be light and hard on this brakes to kill off speed. But this isn't a traditional exit speed corner that's a tight hairpin. This is a pretty long duration corner, right? So what I want to do is I want to have my minimum speed, a great reference point for you, coming right in this range here, right before my real apex point, which is right in here. Actually, let me do a little bit better. My apex point coming here. So I want to be braking late and hard, but I also want to work on coming off the brakes early to bring in a little bit of speed. So I've got a little bit of understeer through the early part of this corner so that I achieve my minimum speed coming right in here, and right where that yellow circle is, that's where my initial throttle application should come. So right in here, starting to accelerate out of this corner and working back to full throttle by here. And if we kind of look at the data on this car, hey, let's be the judge. Where is their minimum speed coming here, right? They're late and hard on the brakes, releasing off the brakes, continuing to slow down, waiting, continue to slow down. Minimum speed should come right in here. Aggressive throttle out of there. Look how perfect that is. Really nice job. Obviously using every inch of the road out of here, right? So now we come into one of the more complicated sections of this racetrack where we're really linking corners to within one another, right? So let's just go ahead and play this video a little bit, right? We're playing through here, double apex right-hander. We're going to have to drive out of here. We immediately come into another right-hander where there's a little bit of a lift to set up for this right-hander, this left-hander, I should say, that's a long duration corner that leads onto a little bit of a straightaway, right? So when we look at this section, everything from here to here is sort of interrelated, right? These corners are all linked. So anytime you get back, you want to work backwards to have your priorities in this section. Again, I want to be fastest for the longest duration. So when we work backwards here, we see from this point on, there's a decent straightaway, right? So I know immediately, hey, this left-hander, this long duration left-hander, it's an exit speed corner, right? And if we kind of look through here, you know, there's a little bit of a short spurt out of here, but you kind of have to lift for this area. Then we're driving, and you have to brake here. So there's not a lot to maximize through here. So this whole section, I can look at this and say, my priority is going to be the exit out of this long duration left-hander. That's going to tell me I should probably sacrifice a little bit of speed to that previous right-hander. And then the second longest duration here is going to probably be the deceleration zone into the double left-hander, right? Something from here to here. So when we work this backwards, we're now having the priority on, my priority is the exit out of this left-hander. So everything that comes before it is just about not compromising my priority, right? So this double right-hander, you want to be late on the brakes. You want to be releasing off the brakes. You can kind of see that the road is uphill here, but then crests right about now. So when the road crests, we're going to lose grip. So you want to make sure you're getting a lot of your braking done before that road crests, right? If we're going to be on the brakes, we want to be full throttle, full throttle, full throttle, full throttle, light on the brakes, releasing off the brakes before the road crests, because as the road crests, if you don't have ABS, you're going to lock tires. If you have ABS, it's going to be hard on the ABS because you're losing that grip. You want to release off, you want to roll speed, and I'd like to see you roll a little bit more speed so the car takes us just a little bit wider through the middle part of this corner so that we can really get the car better set up for the second apex corner. So notice here, what's going to happen is with our driver, they're going to have a car angle that's looking very much in this direction, where I want them looking a little bit more in this direction. So how do we get that car angle difference? It's by rolling a little bit more speed past the first apex point. If you roll a little bit more speed, the car is going to slide just a little bit wider. I don't want to be way out over here. I do want to be just about a half car width wider or so. So maybe my right side tires are closer to here, left side tires are here. And now if you think about it, look at the difference as we arrive in that second apex point. So now they're going to be able to really roll it a little bit more speed, wait for the car to be pointed down the road, pointed over there. Then you apply the throttle, working it back to full throttle, getting the run out of there. This right-hander, my major priority here, as we talked about, is to get set up for this left-hander and maximize the exit. For me to do that, I want to make sure I'm working it back to the right side of the road before I turn in for this left-hander to really open up the radius of the corner, right? So what I do to this right-hander is I want to bring in as much speed as I can as long as I can hold it here. So if I can be full throttle through this right-hander and hold it right, then I'm going to do that. If I need to have a lift, I'm going to lift just enough to be able to work it back to the right side of the road here. So when I turn into this left-hander, I'm turning from the right side of the road and I'm working it back to full throttle here and get that run onto the front, onto this kind of mid straightaway, right? Okay. So coming into a few more corners to go, we're going to be late, hard, really bumpy in here, late, hard on the brakes, sliding past that first apex point, just like this. This looks great. And again, I want that minimum speed coming right about here so that I can get the car pointed in towards our second apex point, just like this, and be aggressive on throttle out of here. So bringing in speed, releasing off the brakes. I want to be kind of coming to back this up, right? Late and hard, boom, you know, braking, releasing off the brakes. Car's going to rotate. Here's my second apex point, a little camber in the road. Feet throttle out of here. Get a little squirt of throttle, then release again. Working it back to full throttle as we come down the hill, just like this. Aggressive throttle through this section. Perfect, right? Now, we're coming in to sort of one of the major corners in this racetrack. We're going to have this long duration right-hander driving out of here. So again, what I want you doing is, let's do the exercise. Is this an exit speed corner or is it an entry speed corner? So remember, we're going to be turning left in here. So I want you thinking the acceleration zone, right through here. Ignore that last green bit. The deceleration zone, probably about here. So that means it's an exit speed corner. And based off of that, I want you thinking, where should my minimum speed in the corner come? It should come just before the apex point. So minimum speed comes in here, throttle application comes in here, and driving out of it. Now, our driver this lap had a car in front of them, so they weren't able to accelerate as aggressively out of this corner as they'd like, and typically we were using all the road on exit. So what we want to be doing here is coming through, hands straight, like a decent sized brake application, probably like if we said like a 6 out of 10 pedal, braking, releasing off the brake, coast for a little bit. This is where we want to feed the throttle pretty late apex here. Let the car be free out of here, back to full throttle, use every inch of the road. And then we want to work it back to the right side of the road before we start our brake application and turn and point right into about here. This is where we'll be turning in and the road connects over here, right? So hopefully that makes sense. It's a great track. It's a bumpy track. The main goal that I want you to have is I want you to show up and have a priority in every corner. Where most race car drivers go wrong is they try to add speed without knowing how do they prioritize entry speed versus exit speed versus knowing where to get the throttle. Now you've got a systematic approach to know, what am I maximizing? Where is my minimum speed? Where do I want to get back to throttle? And then you can bring in and maximize everywhere else without hurting your priorities. Work off of that way, and that way you'll make sure that you're competing and hopefully winning that top dog. Let me know if you have any questions. Reach out to our team at Blayze anytime you want. Visit our website or email us team@blayze.io. We'll be here to help you. Have a great weekend, have fun, be safe, and go fast.